Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. That was so lame. Real talk, and I'm gonna get totally honest with you right now. No matter how hot your selfie is on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the kids are doing these days, there's no facial expression or aesthetic that is going to get readers to stop scrolling and think, the look in her eyes says I should go join her group program. Cart's closing. Oh my God, I know that look. It's just not a thing. And that's where your captions come in. Hey, copywriting. So let's talk about how to write captions that convert. Hey Hottie, I'm Mackenzie B. Fleming, the founder of the Hot Copy House and copywriter for coaches who want to stand the out. On-brand pictures and aesthetics are great on Instagram. I love me a curated feed. However, if you want your reader to take action and know what the fuck to do, that's where your caption comes in. So let's talk about my top 3 tips for social media copywriting. Let's start by knocking out a quick overview of what's typically included in a caption. So first in our caption blueprint, we've got a headline. That's going to be the first line, the first thing you see in the caption before you hit see more and all that good shit. Then we've got your body. That's going to be the meat, the thick and juicy meat of the caption. And then last is going to be your call to action, where you guessed it, we're going to tell the reader what the action they need to take. Keep in mind, you won't always include every single component of a caption and every single post. Depending on the goal of your post overall, you may want to just include a headline that also doubles as a call to action. So something like drop an emoji if you agree. The goal there being engagement. But for the sake of covering all of our bases, we're going to talk about all 3 components and how to write them for your captions. Let's dig in with your headline. Tip number 1 is to nail arguably the most important part of any caption, the headline. So just like with your website homepage, your sales page, an opt-in page, a blog, etc., your caption is going to have that first line that we're calling a headline. This is just 125 characters, this one line that determines if a reader is going to stop their scroll and read more, or speed that scroll up until your competitor calls them out with something more enticing. Ouch! To nail your caption headline, you'll first want to choose the theme of your hook. So for instance, if you want to lead with a teaser, a question, a shocking statistic or fact, a command, a targeted call out, or an announcement, just to name a few. Pro tip, statistics show that including a number at the beginning of your hook, particularly an odd number, will perform better on social media and increase those clicks to read more and conversions. Go ahead and screenshot this next screen if you want a cheat sheet for hook ideas. So after choosing your hook, it's time to actually start writing that headline. I like to switch it up a little bit with these 125 characters. Sometimes I'll make them all caps. I'll use asterisks, or I'll include emojis to capture the reader's eye. My biggest tip for writing your headline or hook for your caption is to keep that tight. And by tight, I am not talking about my exquisite ass. I'm talking about cutting the fluff, trimming the fat, removing any and all words that are not 100% necessary. We want to keep our headline as brief and again, tight as possible. For tip number 2, we are focusing on the body of your caption. For this thick and juicy portion of the caption where the value and the deets all go down, my biggest tip is this: focus on readability before anything else. So now that we've gotten our reader to stop their scroll, we've piqued their interest with our headline enough so that they want to keep reading the caption and get to the body. We need to take a few crucial steps to ensure they not only start reading the body, but they finish it so they can get to your call to action and actually help you achieve your goals for that post. I like to think of the body of the caption as its own entity in the way that, just like your headline, it makes a first impression on your reader. The body does the same thing. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say you are taking a stroll through the park and you see a captions headline that captures your eye and you think, let me click more, let me get a little read on for this, but you see the following. and it's just a large chunk of ongoing text. For me personally, as soon as I see that, I'm like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Without even reading the first word of the body, I'm already turned off, popper nodder. And this is why readability is so huge. Instead, let's imagine you see a caption like this. Not only does having a caption like this one hold your reader's attention instead of sending them off screaming, but the skimmability of this caption is what's going to help them get through all of the text and to the call to action. Here's how we're going to create a skimmable, reader-friendly body to your caption. First, white space is your best friend. Not even your best friend. It's like the girl you met in the bar who is suddenly your ride or die. You met her 5 minutes ago, but she's invited to your wedding, talking about how great each other is as a person. That's white space for you, okay? Embrace white space as you would embrace her. In addition to including extra spaces between lines, we also want to keep those lines or paragraphs and the sentences that make them up short. While it's ideal to have varied lengths for sentences and paragraphs, I will still give you a gold star if you just tighten them up so that you're not including unnecessary language, frivolous details, the shit you don't need. Next, try using emojis throughout your captions body to keep the reader's eye naturally moving down the screen. Since we can't bold, italicize, or underline in captions on Instagram, I like to use emojis and also asterisks for emphasis. Finally, who doesn't love a list? I personally am a total slut for a list. You can also use emojis in lists in place of bullet points. Get creative, have fun with it, but keep in mind we want those list items to be concise and fluff-free as well. And lastly, tip number 3 is to include a simple yet strong call to action. This final portion of your caption should be a natural next step for your reader. So what should happen when they're done reading the caption? What does that naturally flow into that also helps you accomplish your goals? To determine your call to action or CTA, go back to the very first step of creating any caption, writing any social media post, and that's to determine your goal for the post. Whatever your overarching goal is for that post, your CTA should reflect that. Here are a few examples of some CTAs you may want to play around with. Ask a question, encourage engagement, click the link in bio, DM me, like, comment, share, reflect, donate a kidney. Tease and stay tuned. When writing your captions call to action, make sure not to overwhelm your reader with multiple asks. For example, if you want to remind your reader to save your post for later and you also want to encourage engagement and ask a question, just split them up. I like to remind readers in captions to save this post for later early on in the caption and save the more important CTA for the end, which would typically be something like engagement or download this, get this freebie, DM me, buy my shit. Pro tip, starting your call to action with a verb like buy, register, share, etc., and using active language is shown to improve conversions. Speaking of calls to action, here's mine for you. Hit like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, or just if you think I'm pretty, I will not mind. And keep an eye out for my next video where we'll be talking about website copywriting and 5 tricks to improve your website conversions as a coach or service provider. Love you, mean it.